Good evening. As we begin tonight, take a look inside a property that neighbors have been raising concerns about for years. Today, dozens of dogs were seized from this Peoria home. In total, police removed over 60 dogs that were living in horrible conditions and found 3 others that were dead.
12 News journalist Maria Stobbs is joining us from the neighborhood near 88th Avenue and Morningside Drive with the details.
Peoria police say this home has been on their radar for years, with animal control responding to the property more than 100 times. But it wasn't until a judge granted a court order that officers could go inside, and what they found, they say, was unlivable. From non-stop barking to strong smells.
Yeah, it just smelled like a dog kennel that hadn't been cleaned up in years.
And ongoing concerns about animal welfare. Neighbors like Ralph North say the problems have only gotten worse over the years.
The last 3 years or so, it's been really bad, where the loud, all the barking, the smell from the place, the dog out in front, people living out front. It's just been a bad situation.
Another neighbor shared this video of several dogs in the backyard, including puppies. Despite frequent visits, police say the person living there never let officers inside until Wednesday.
Just took that extra, court order to get inside the house, and it was a long, drawn-out process.
Allowing crews to remove more than 60 dogs. Police say 3 of the dogs found inside were dead.
I do know that some of the dogs needed emergency vet help immediately.
And this is what the inside of the home looked like.
All of us here are dog owners on this street. I've got 3 dogs. Our neighbors have dogs, and we hate to see dogs in that kind of conditions.
The house has now been red tagged and deemed unlivable by code enforcement.
I can't imagine anybody else moving into there.
And all of the dogs removed were taken to the city's animal control kennels, where police say they'll be evaluated and receive veterinary care.
We're all glad. The neighbors are all glad it's coming to an end.
No arrests have been made at this time, but Peoria police told us that the woman living here has been arrested in the past for charges related to animal cruelty. In Peoria, Maria Stobbs, 12 News.
All right, Maria. We want to get to some breaking news coming out of the West Valley right now. Peoria police are on the scene of an active barricade situation. Police say that a suspect robbed a victim and then shot them in the chest near 83rd Avenue and Cactus. The victim was able to actually drive away from the scene. Police found them at a different location and rushed them to the hospital. Police say the suspect has now barricaded themselves inside. We do have a crew on the way, and we'll keep you updated as we learn more.
New at 10, police have a woman in custody after reports of an armed carjacking near Hamilton High School yesterday. Chandler police say that the victim was a student at the school, and thankfully they were not hurt. Police say that they responded to Arizona Avenue and Ocotillo Road around 2:30 p.m. on Tuesday. The school was placed on lockdown during the initial investigation. They were able to identify the suspect as 38-year-old Raven White. No word yet on the specific charges that she could face.
We want to give you a look at what's left of a home after a massive fire that we brought to you as breaking news last night. Sky 12 was over the home in Gold Canyon. You can see it's a total loss. Thankfully, no one was hurt, and crews were able to keep the fire from spreading to nearby homes. This is what it looked like last night. Big flames quickly spread through the home, causing a partial roof collapse. Crews were on the scene for hours trying to put it out. Investigators are still looking into what caused the fire. A Mesa mother is calling on Maricopa County prosecutors to re-examine the charge in a shooting case, arguing that her 21-year-old son was just seconds away from losing his life on New Year's Day. Caden Horace went to talk to his ex-girlfriend at a Mesa cafe, and while the two were sitting in his car, court records say the current boyfriend, 19-year-old Eric Feliciano, came up to the car window, brandished a gun, and shot at Horace. The bullet came just inches away from hitting him. Now the Horace family has grown frustrated with the aggravated assault charge that he's facing instead of a charge of attempted murder.
You aimed at his head. There was no trying to scare him. You wanted to kill him. And that I don't even know how to explain it, because it's the most terrifying. I think I'm more terrified than him as a mom, because if he leaves the house, I'm terrified.
I wish they can change that to attempted murder, of course, and because if they looked at it, it's right at my head, and it sucks that that he didn't get what he deserves.
We did reach out to County Attorney Rachel Mitchell's office about why there wasn't an attempted murder charge. They say Mesa Police referred the aggravated assault charge, finding that the evidence did not support attempted murder.
Tonight, we're hearing from the mother of a boy who was seriously hurt in a suspected DUI crash that happened last week. This was the scene on Friday near 19th Avenue in Southern. Police say that the suspect tried to make a left turn and collided with another car with 4 passengers. The 2 adults had minor injuries, while 2 boy passengers were taken to the hospital in serious condition.
They didn't have what they needed to care for him. He was needing blood. He was talking, and oh God, he was just saying, "Mommy, I can't feel my legs. Mommy, can you put me back in my feet now? Can you please put me back in my feet now?" I don't know how much he remembers, but I know that he knows his legs don't work.
Phoenix police say the suspect was processed for a DUI and then released. Any possible charges would come after the toxicology results. Today, the governing board for the Chandler Unified School District delayed a decision on making more staff cuts. The district is dealing with a $12 million budget shortfall, and during today's meeting, the board voted to table a proposal to cut media and tech specialists across the district. Members say that they need more data in order to move forward. Last week, the board approved a plan to remove over 100 positions, including administrative roles and jobs tied to special education.
We've got some rain headed our way. The question is how much? Let's check in with meteorologist Lindsay Riley.
Well, most of us in the valley will range anywhere from 1/10 to 2/10 of an inch, but we could have some outliers out closer to the East Valley that see more than 1/2 of an inch of rain. We added the clouds out ahead of this system. The first raindrops already falling in California. This storm system will continue to inch its way closer. We do have a weather impact alert day for Saturday for the valley because the rain's going to move in. It's not going to be a washout by any stretch, but it could impact your outdoor plans. Plus, up in the high country, we're talking some snow, and that'll be the day where the heaviest snow comes down. Coats and umbrellas are going to be needed this weekend. Coats for the high country and umbrellas for the lower deserts, including Phoenix. Here's a look at the rain. Now, the West Valley is not going to see nearly as much rain as the East Valley, so we're talking 1/10 of an inch or less there. But as you go to the east, you can see some of those numbers getting a little bit higher, and we could have some very localized 1/2 of an inch amounts, but most are going to fall in the 1/10 of an inch to 2/10 of an inch for the upcoming weekend. So tomorrow we're completely dry and we'll stay above average, even though we'll see more clouds than sun at times. Rain chances will start to go up on Friday, but Friday's rain is going to be extremely light. Better chance on Saturday. That's why we have a weather impact alert day, because this could impact any outdoor plans that you have, and we could even see a few thunderstorms during the afternoon. Colder temperatures as well. We're dry tomorrow for the high country. We start off mostly as rain because snow levels will begin at about 7,000 feet and then drop down to about 5,000 feet as the colder air moves in Saturday. And Saturday is the day where we'll see the most snow accumulation. Caribe?
All right, Lindsay, thank you. New tonight, a Valley driver is dealing with a surprising type of damage to her car, and the repairs could be costly. 12 News journalist Gabriella Becerra is joining us now in studio with what happened. And Gabby, I don't think I've ever seen anything like this before.
I haven't either, and you never know what's going to come loose and fall out on a Valley roadway, but a can of bright red paint is the last thing this driver was expecting to come across.
This bright red stain marks the spot of what's now a major headache for at least one Valley driver.
I was honestly dumbfounded. I didn't even have a huge reaction.
Brianna Lewis was driving home last Monday, getting on the westbound Loop 202 at McClintock Drive when she unknowingly drove through a puddle of wet paint.
I drive that direction every week, so it was just second nature to me, and I just didn't think paint, you just don't think, especially red paint, is going to be in the road.
The paint splattered across the passenger side of her black SUV and quickly stained the body, tires, and rims.
I was so confused because I didn't run over a can, I didn't run over a spray bottle, like nothing.
She didn't realize what happened until a strong smell of paint filled her garage. With some of it still dripping, she and her husband rushed to power wash it off.
He was able to get a lot off of the tires. You can see it's still in like divots, but other than that, it was not coming off.
It's actually very common.
Bernice Berry, the owner of Pure Luxury Tint and Detailing in Chandler, tells me the good news is this type of damage is fixable.
It just takes a long time to clean up.
She specializes in auto paint protection and says there are several things on Valley freeways that can damage a car. Her suggestion to drivers who experience this:
don't wait too long. Don't leave it on too long.
Lewis tells me she's hoping her insurance will cover what could be a costly repair.
Accidents happen on the road. I mean, that's what insurance is for. So I'm crossing my fingers that they do, because a paint job is kind of expensive.
Until then, she's thankful the car still drives.
We get a few funny looks since this has happened, but you know, it is what it is. I don't care.
And Lewis tells me she will now have her eyes peeled for wet paint on Valley roadways, and she hopes what happened to her doesn't happen to anyone else. In studio, Gabriella Becerra, 12 News.
Yeah, hopefully they can get all that paint off. All right, Gabby, thank you.